Hello, hello. Happy Wellness Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I hope that you've had a great week so far. I know today we like to call it Hump Day. I know it's been dubbed as Wellness Wednesday, and I couldn't think of a better day to talk about today's topic, which is how do our emotions impact our daily lives emotionally and physically? They affect our emotional health, our mindset, how it affects our physical health, which in turn can affect our emotional health, but how we feel about ourselves. I've been doing some research and came across an article around the purpose of our emotions. Good morning, my name is Leslie Godat, and I am an empowerment coach. I help my clients achieve self-awareness so that they can handle their triggers, manage their emotions, and a more positive life. So, um, this week on Monday, I talked to you first about what are emotions. And then yesterday, I talked to you about how we assign emotions to our memories and why we do that. So today, as I said, I wanted to talk to you about how it impacts our daily lives emotionally and physically, our emotions. So let's get into this. As I said, I've been doing some research around emotions, and this article that I came across basically talks about how there are three components to our emotions. One, how we experience our emotions. Two, how our bodies react to our emotions. And three, what actions we take based on our emotions. Now, it is pretty much kind of like what I've been saying for quite some time now, how we are triggered, how our triggers fuel our emotions, and how our emotions drive our responses, our reactions. And as you can see behind me, I have the chart, the triggers chart, I call this. So this is a cycle on repeat every day. We all experience it. No one is above it. No one can do something really great so that they never have to go through this. No, everybody goes through this every single day. We are all equally triggered. Well, maybe not all equally triggered, but we are all equal in that we are all triggered daily, whether all our triggers can be obviously different than the other, but we are all triggered. And what our triggers do is they fuel our emotions. So how are we emotionally triggered by that? And that's what drives our responses, our actions, the things that we do, the things that we say. Now, our actions are what provide our rewards. Our rewards are the byproduct of our responses. So meaning either it's a positive reward or a negative reward. It's either guilt, shame, and regret, or maybe more positive, where you actually be able to learn how to take back and control and manage your emotions so that they don't manage you, so that your reactions and responses are up to you, and you've decided on it, and you've decided on a more positive way to react and respond. So now the article goes on to say that emotions can motivate us to take action. And the example given was around taking an exam where you might feel anxious about the test, and so your anxiety might motivate you to study. In other words, because you felt anxious around taking this important test, you wanted to get a good grade. So you were more motivated to take action to study so that you have a better chance of getting that good grade. So you consciously know that to give yourself a better chance of succeeding, you must take some sort of action to better the outcome. But what I want to talk to you today about is about how our emotions, based on our day-to-day activities, our experiences that we have on a daily basis. Now, your life may feel like it is on automation or autopilot because you do the same things every day, but your experiences may be different, even if you're doing the same thing, if that makes sense. So in other words, you go to work, you have projects, but things can change, meaning that your experience at work today can be different from yesterday based on what new things are introduced to your schedule for that day. So yeah, you go to work, it's a normal thing. And you might have already set aside things that you had from yesterday that you set aside to do today. But guess what? Something will always come up. It's just a fact of life. Something will always come up, and that will change the dynamic of your day. Or maybe you get a call from your kid's school. So if you're a mom or a dad, and you get a call from school, the kids are sick, or maybe something happened, and you have to drop everything and go and get the kids. So now everything that you had planned for your day is now changed. And that changes, as I said, the dynamic of your day changes because of that. So now you've dropped everything, and now tomorrow, guess what? You have everything that you had planned for today, you have to now rework things and tomorrow, right? So, or even your home life could be the same. You go home, you cook dinner for your kids, for your family. The kids have homework if you have kids. Your kids have homework, so you're gonna make sure that they get that. They have a bath, you make sure that they get to bed. Your me time, if you even schedule that time in, which I highly recommend because you're important too. Everything can be the same except for our circumstances can change. So everything that our habits can be the same, but our circumstances can change. Change is inevitable. For example, here's another example. Your kids may bring home a report from school stating that they've been struggling. And so now you have to set time aside to have a talk with your kids to find out what's going on, to figure out what the problem is. And then this brings up a whole slew of emotions, anxiety about how your kids are feeling and how they're doing, how you can help them. You even start questioning how you are performing as a parent. Point is this, life happens even when your life is on autopilot. Things can change, and that's how our emotions get triggered, and then ultimately how we respond based around our triggers, based around changes in our lives. So earlier I mentioned that our emotions impact our daily lives by affecting our emotional health, our mindset, and affecting our physical health, which in turn can affect our emotional health by how we feel about ourselves. So how do our emotions impact our daily lives? Well, for one, are you one to react at the drop of a hat? Let me ask you that question. Do you often find yourself saying and doing things as soon as you are triggered, and often then you regret what you've said and done because you just couldn't help yourself in the moment? And because you're quick to react before thinking about it, you've hurt someone or someone's, you feel bad about it, you feel guilt, you feel shame. This could even be something that happens in your workplace, then your relationships with your colleagues, with your boss. Then the next emotion you'll feel is embarrassment, because now you have to find a way to mend fences, right? You're now in a place where you don't want to be, and you don't want to feel all of those emotions because you feel these emotions. You know that in order to feel better, you have to apologize. You have to find a way to fix it. So that's how emotions, they really can impact our daily lives. I could go deeper with this because, we all have been there where we are quick triggered and emotionally respond to something without thinking about it and say and do things we often regret. And oftentimes we take things out on the people closest to us for something that they didn't have anything to do with in the first place. You have to take responsibility because it's your emotion. You have the ability to control your emotions. You just have to want to do that. And then you have to learn how to do that because it takes time. So then I also talked about how this affects our physical health. Headaches, because you're emotionally charged. Depression, because of how you're feeling. Anxiety, sadness, restlessness. Maybe even reaching for substances to dull the feeling of sadness or guilt or shame or any emotion that makes you feel bad about yourself. You might even think that glass of wine will relax you after a hard day, but then it could turn into the whole bottle just because of how you're feeling. And then you feel sluggish and upset that you drank the whole thing. Maybe even waking up the next day with a massive headache and groggy because you didn't sleep well the night before. Like I said, I could go deeper on how our emotions impact our daily lives and our physical health. And when our physical health is affected, it becomes a vicious circle because then we are emotionally affected. But guess what? Most of the time, we're not even aware of it because we're on autopilot. We haven't really been programmed or even really taught how to just stop ourselves and think about these things, about how our emotions are really impacting our daily lives. Now, that's why I started my group, Manager VIP Triggers Academy, to teach you these things, to give you some strategies, some tips based around emotions. Because your emotions, emotions are so powerful, right? Our emotions can be so powerful at times where we can't even think. And if we allow our emotions to have that power over us, we will do and say things that we don't mean to say or do. And we will often regret those things that we've done and said. And then we will have to go back and fix it and feel embarrassed to have to do that. Have you ever felt that way? Like where you've actually you felt embarrassed, especially, let's say it's at work and you've reacted in a way that's really not professional. And now you're embarrassed and now you have to try to mend fences and now you have to try to figure out a way to tell people, you know, hey, this wasn't your fault. This was about me. I'm sorry. You know, you have to find a way to mend it. And now maybe that relationship is going to take time to mend. So it's really hard. Our emotions are so powerful. And if we give all of our power to our emotions, they will affect us daily, emotionally and physically, if we allow them to have the power. And that's why I started this group, because I wanted to be able to help you have the tools to actually start taking back control. And that all comes from being self-aware around this chart, knowing that you are triggered. It is, again, as I said, something that you will not be able to avoid. No matter how hard you try, you can't pay someone to do it. You can't do something in your life that this chart will go away. It's always going to be a part of your life. And maybe you've never had to think about it, because again, we've never really been programmed to really think about how we react and respond and the things that we do and we say and how that affects our lives, whether it's emotionally or physically. We've never really had these conversations, but it's time to have these conversations, because this is a fact of life. And the only thing that you have control over on this trigger is this piece right here, your emotions. If you manage and you learn to manage your emotions based on your triggers, your reactions, your actions will provide positive rewards, the positive outcomes. You will have a more positive way of responding to things, even when they are hard. You will find a way to be motivated to be more positive in your reactions. But if you are not self-aware of this, if you are not self-aware that your emotions are driving your responses, if you are not aware or even self-aware that your triggers fuel your emotions, then you will go around and around this wheel continuously for the rest of your life. I hate to break this to you, but you'll go on this path the rest of your life and always react and responding the same way every time to all of your triggers. And I want you to get away from that. I know you probably feel that way. That's why you watch my lives, because you know this is something that you have had to deal with on a daily basis. And so that's why I started the group, because I wanted to be able to have a place for you to go where, number one, you will have community of like-minded people just like you, just like me, that are going through daily cycles like this, but they're learning things that they can do so that they can take control of the only piece that they have control of, which is their emotions. Because once that once they get really good at spotting their triggers, then managing their emotions, then they can control their responses. And then when their responses are more positive, the rewards are typically more positive, right? So that's through the community, and you are a community where you can be, a part of something where you can share your individual experiences. And by doing that, you're able to say to yourself, I'm not alone in how I'm feeling and what I'm going through, because you're not. We all go through this. Like I said, it's a fact of life. So then again, you get accountability, because I also create weekly worksheets. I go live every Monday. I launch it every Monday, and I go live every Monday to explain the worksheets so that you know what the intention is, so that you know what you need to do. This is all to help you to learn and achieve self-awareness around what it is that's happening to you, around your triggers, And that way, able to, sorry, this keeps popping in my calendar. You are more self-aware around your triggers so that then you can be self-aware of how you emotionally charge and how you respond, how you're emotionally triggered. So that's through the accountability and the worksheets. I give you things to do so that it helps you to build on it so you can get that self-awareness. And self-awareness is key. It is key to managing this chart, this cycle every day. Then expansion of your comfort zone. There will be monthly challenges. We will all take together so that we can build on our self-awareness, so we can build on our skill set, so that we can manage this cycle every day more positively. And then you will have access to me because I go live every single Thursday evening at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where you can ask me anything. So if you're looking for maybe a tip or a strategy, you can ask me. It's free. You don't have to pay for this group. You don't have to pay to have access to me, unless, of course, you want to do more one-on-one coaching, which I do offer, and we can talk about that in a private message. But this group is around helping you, bringing you into a community so you can all see that you're all going through the same thing together. You can help each other, lean on each other, support each other, and you'll also have access to me. You can ask me questions. I can give you tips and strategies on things that have worked for me, that have worked for people that I have worked with, so that you become that best version of you. You are then in control of your triggers so that you can manage your emotions and your responses are more positive. So that's what that group is all about. I've put the link in the title so that you can click on there. As I said, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything except for you to come and be a part of a community so that you can learn self-awareness so that you can manage this cycle more positively. So I hope that this was helpful for you today. I ask that you help me help others by sharing my video. Let's get this message out there. There's a lot of people that just don't realize that they are navigating this cycle every day, and there is a way to manage it so that it's more positive, and so that you gain self-awareness through this. So again, thank you so much for watching. I ask again that you share the video to help me help others. I hope today that you navigate today with an attitude of gratitude, because with the right attitude, the right mindset, you will have, you'll be able to take and look at whatever life throws at you and say, okay, this is hard, or this is easy, or whatever. And you're able to navigate through that challenge because you're in the right mindset, you're in the right frame of mind. So again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your support so much. You have no idea, I really do. I appreciate your support. And if you have any questions, pop a comment in the comments below, or the question below, or DM me personally. Let's start a conversation. Maybe you want to talk a little bit more. So I do have 15-minute calls that are free. If you want to set something up, let me know, and I will send you the link. So again, thank you so much for watching. My name is Leslie Gaudette. I'm an empowerment coach. I help my clients achieve self-awareness so that they can handle the triggers, manage their emotions, and live a more positive life, because that's what we want, right? I hope that you have an amazing, amazing day, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye for now.